LoreWarrior Online, BKX-7K Battleaxe. Overview. After a daring espionage operation netted the Lyrans the plans for building the battlemech, the Federated Sons developed their own plans for conducting espionage against either the Terran hegemony or the Lyrans. Rather than use these plans, however, First Prince House Davion decided upon a different route: diplomacy. The Sons and the Commonwealth had no common borders and no real conflicts, but both nations shared borders with the powerful hegemony and the aggressive Draconis Combine. The First Prince opted to send a team of delegates to the Commonwealth, and after an undisclosed amount of effort, negotiation and money, the team came back with reams of information as well as a precedent that would lead to further relations between the two superpowers centuries later. Capabilities. The original prototypes that debuted in 2459, like those of the other houses, initially relied upon proven weapon technologies, such as lasers and missile racks, while most of the other components were still experimental. With the advancement of technology, the Battleaxe's primitive components were slowly replaced over the next 15 years, increasing the mech's speed by a third while simultaneously reducing the mass of its cockpit and armour. Though the Sons were getting ready to mass-produce particle projection cannons, they were unwilling to mount unproven technology as the battlemech's main weaponry, and instead relied on older, large lasers until the late 2460s. Still unsure of the battlemech's ability to swiftly move through built-up terrain, the designers later mounted experimental jump jets on the upper legs, allowing the machine to vault anything it couldn't go through. Extra training for mech warriors and new actuator software had to be included, as several pilots died early on, unable to handle the heavy, bulky design and crude jump jets to land safely on both feet. Deployment. Unfortunately, even after full-scale production of the Battleaxe commenced, its inherent design flaws remained to curse it. The relatively low armour and bad heat curve designed by engineers who never imagined the levels of ferocity battlemech campaigns would involve left large formations of the machines destroyed, crippled, or simply shut down on the battlefield. However, its strong punch ensured that the Battleaxes took down plenty of enemy units with them. The last Battleaxes were destroyed during the Second Succession War, when a group of retired mech warriors gathered for a failed attempt to assist the defenders against the Curitan invasion of Robinson. This hastily raised company, made of machines considered ancient even by standards of the time, held back several battalions of conventional vehicles and infantry, while groups of civilians and support personnel fled to the wilderness. Though half of the Battleaxes were destroyed by enemy fire, the other half were lost to ammunition explosions from their ceaseless weapons fire. Variants. With the introduction of the Battleaxe's successor, the Hammerhands, no official variants ever surfaced. However, many mech warriors, especially those who never quite learned to manage the Battleaxe as it leapt through the air, had technicians remove the temperamental jump jets and install a second LRM-5 in each torso, deeming it the no-crash version, or simply 7NC. Upgrades. When digging through their archives, Achenar saw a chance to redeem their first design. Using the most advanced technology available to them, the design team corrected the flaws plaguing the original mech. A light fusion engine, light ferrofibrous compounds, and case turned the once fragile heavy battlemech into a well-protected anchor unit. The heavy cannons were swapped for a pair of extended-range medium lasers, and the missile racks were exchanged for 3 MML-7 packs. While still retaining the jump jets, the heat sinks have been upgraded to double-strength versions, and a C3 slave unit has been added. Sometimes mistaken for Warhammer variants, the BKX-8D often had mech warriors already in the cockpits during the peak of the fighting for New Avalon, as the last of the plating and wiring were being installed and then marching off to combat, without even a simple coat of primer. Notable mech warriors. Lieutenant Timothy McAuliffe. Having been retired for 20 years and missing the initial Draconis Combine landings on Robinson, Lieutenant McAuliffe called up his close friends and other retired family members when it became apparent the Curitan forces were winning the campaign. Seeing the destruction wrought by the Dragon, McAuliffe's company of mechs, mostly decrepit Battleaxes, held the line long enough for the civilians in his hometown to evacuate. McAuliffe's Battleaxe was destroyed in the middle of a jump when incoming fire severed the leg, resulting in a fatal crash.